day, but none of that compared to the pain in my spirit. The knowledge that my action played a role in a tragedy that took 3 innocent children and their grandmother has broken me in ways that words can never describe. My home, my heart, my life are filled with silence and grief.
When a child causes harm to himself or others, the first thing that comes to my mind, and maybe yours, is where is your mother? Or where are the parents? Now, why do we ask this? Because we want to know that the child has a primary caregiver who is fit and present, attentive, and actively parenting a child who has been found in the wild doing wild things. But then, once that question is answered, what is the follow-up question? Where were you when your child was actively doing XYZ? Usually, that is the follow-up question. And the follow-up answer is, well, I was at work. Or if you listen to Sue Klebold, you'll hear, I was right there. Right there where? Because physical proximity does not mean emotional proximity or even social or mental proximity. Your body can be there, sharing the same physical address, but your heart, your mind, your will, and your emotions can be so far off somewhere else. I mean, where do you have to be as a parent for your child to be over here doing harm to others? Where should you be? Now, of course, this is referring to before harm occurs, be it leaving your teenager unsupervised with car keys hanging on a key rack, or not securing household firearms, prohibiting your teenager's access. I guess I'm just asking, how much should a parent know to be held responsible? Because prevention is not foreknowledge and foreknowledge is not prevention. I don't even think there's a reasonable answer to this. Most parents just do the best they can with what they know and what they have. Some seeking out even more to become better parents for their children. And then you have some who choose to stay stagnant where they are because that's what their parents did and they came out fine. But in the cases of Richard Ferguson and Colin Gray, both fathers, whom family researchers and religious institutions emphasize the role of in a child's well-being, are being held criminally liable for the harm caused by their sons. Both the states of Florida and Georgia, respectively, are alleging that these fathers had foreknowledge of their children's proclivities and failed to prevent that probable harm. But knowing something is likely doesn't mean that you can successfully stop it from happening, does it? I mean, how much should a parent know to be held legally responsible? And at what point does inaction, despite foreknowledge, become culpable? Foreknowledge is seeing the warning signs. Prevention is acting on them. But knowing isn't always stopping. When does the law hold parents accountable for that gap? Is the gap moral? Is it legal? Is it both? If you as a parent saw the warning signs but could not prevent the harm, are you still culpable? If yes, how culpable? Culpable enough to be sentenced to 37 years like Richard Ferguson, while his son, the actual bad actor, though a minor, only serves 4 years, followed by 2 years probation to be released back into the wild by age 21? Where is the line? Society does expect some degree of intervention, but it balances it against the cultural shorthand of boys will be boys. But what about that gap? That place between knowing and acting where awareness exists but prevention fails. Because not all gaps are punishable, but patterns of negligence or repeated inaction can shift that scale. The gap is where we have to ask the question about parental power, its limitations, and the moral weight of inaction. The tension between knowing and stopping is the central question these cases are forced to confront. So when does inaction become responsibility? Excuses like teens make mistakes or boys will be boys are no longer shields for accountability when tragedy occurs. So if foreknowledge without action is enough to hold a parent criminally responsible, the possibilities are chilling. We'll just start to see more parents on trial for the choices of their children.